Dead messiahs that never returned. History is littered with the wreckage of failed prophecies and abandoned thrones. While believers often look to the future for a miraculous return, the cold reality of history shows that the phenomenon of messianic figures dying and failing to return is not the exception, it is the norm. In the modern era, this pattern repeats itself with alarming frequency as self-proclaimed messiahs and modern-day Jesuses emerge across the globe, capturing the devotion of thousands. From figures like Henri Cristo in Brazil, who claims to be the reincarnation of Christ, to Apollo Quiboloy in the Philippines, who declared himself the appointed Son of God, these contemporary leaders follow a well-worn path. Rather than ushering in cosmic redemption, they almost universally succeed only in creating insular, destructive cults that inevitably crumble under the weight of their leaders' mortality, legal controversies, and broken promises. Key examples of past dead messiahs and slain leaders. The teacher of righteousness, the Dead Sea Scrolls community. The most extensively documented case of an early messianic career pattern is found within the Dead Sea Scrolls. Prior to the teacher's arrival, the nascent community wandered in the wilderness like blind men groping for the way for about 20 years. The career and demise. God eventually raised up the teacher of righteousness, a prophetic and redemptive figure to whom all the mysteries of the prophets were revealed. However, this teacher eventually died, referred to textually as being gathered in. The crisis. Following his demise, the community experienced a severe schism, with a rival faction splitting off to follow a figure known as the Liar. The core community was left waiting for the timeline of redemption to conclude, yet the texts record no historical return of this figure. Simon of Peraea, a prominent historical figure mentioned by the historian Josephus. Simon was a former royal slave who, following the death of Herod the Great in 4 BC, took advantage of the chaotic political climate. The claim and fate. Described sarcastically by Josephus as relying on his good looks and great stature, Simon placed a crown on his own head, effectively claiming a royal, Davidic, or Hasmonean pedigree. He led a band of followers, burning down the royal palace at Jericho. His rebellion was swiftly crushed by the Roman commander Gratus, who broke Simon's neck in a rocky ravine near the Jordan River. The apocalyptic echo, Simon, is linked to the archaeological discovery of the Gabriel Revelation, a stone tablet found in Jordan. The text contains a line interpreted by scholar Israel Knoll as the angel Gabriel commanding a slain Prince of Princes, rotting in the rocky crevices, to live after 3 days. Historically, however, the rebellion ended with Simon's death, and his expected miraculous resurrection remained a matter of unfulfilled faith for his followers. Athronges. Active during the same period of mass messianic uprisings in 4 BC, Athronges was a shepherd who put a crown on his own head based on his physical strength and complete contempt for death. The rebellion. Backed by his 4 brothers, Athronges waged a guerrilla campaign against both Roman and Herodian forces. Like the other historical messiahs of the era, he and his brothers were eventually systematically tracked down and eliminated by Roman military power. Judas, the son of Hezekiah, also known as Judas the Galilean. Operating near Sepphoris in Galilee, Judas broke into a royal armory to equip a considerable force of followers. He sought to assert power and rebel against Roman authority, and then later organized a major revolt against Roman taxation in 6 AD. His movement was brutally mowed down, and he was slaughtered by the Romans alongside his followers. The archetype of the slain shepherd. Messianic movements historically do not expect their leaders to die. They must undergo a textual and psychological shift when they are killed. Rather than viewing a dead leader as a novel concept unique to the later Jesus movement, it establishes that dying is what historically happens to nearly all messianic figures in first-century Palestine. To cope with this trauma, communities dig into the Hebrew Bible to find a blueprint that explains the tragedy. The Dead Sea Scrolls community, specifically in Damascus Document Manuscript B, recast their history by utilizing Zechariah 13 verse 7. Smite the shepherd, and the sheep shall be scattered. This exact scripture was later utilized by the early Jesus movement in the Gospel of Mark during the arrest and crucifixion narrative. Both communities independently used the same prophetic text to process the identical trauma. Their Messiah was dead, their movement was fractured, and the expected kingdom had not yet materialized. The three stages of apocalyptic recovery. When a Messiah dies, and the end of the age does not arrive on schedule, the surviving community typically transitions through three predictable sociological stages to preserve their faith. Stage 1. Acute imminent expectation. The initial phase is where believers are entirely convinced the end is mere moments away. In the early letters of Paul, such as 1 Corinthians 7, where followers are advised not to bother getting married, changing jobs, or buying insurance because the appointed time has grown very short. Similarly, the Dead Sea Scrolls community calculated a strict timeline based on Daniel's 490-year prophecy, fully believing the final righteous kingdom would completely manifest within 40 years of the teacher's death. Stage 2. Recalculation and explanation of delay. As time passes and the generation begins to die out, the community experiences an existential crisis. The commentary on Habakkuk, found in the scrolls, explicitly addresses this by noting that the final age shall be prolonged and shall exceed all that the prophets have said. The community is told that while the vision may seem late to humans, it is not late to God. Faith shifts from expecting immediate deliverance to enduring the tarrying of the vision. Stage 3. The infinite interim. Ultimately, the timeline must be completely detached from a specific countdown, so the religion can survive indefinitely. In the Gospel of Luke chapter 21 is a brilliant execution of this stage. Writing after the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD, Luke alters the sharp, immediate timeline found in the earlier Gospel of Mark. Luke introduces an elastic buffer period, stating that Jerusalem will be trampled until the times of the Gentiles are fulfilled. By removing the stopwatch and replacing it with an open-ended interim era, the movement successfully adapted to the reality of a dead Messiah, transitioning from an imminent doomsday cult into an enduring global institution.